today we'll be working with the fiscal years and then posting periods, and along with that we'll be working with the documents, few of the financial accounting areas.
Okay.
Okay, fine. When you're talking about the fiscal years, generally we see two types of fiscal years. One is calendar year, the other one is non-calendar. Usually we call this as accounting year.
Yeah.
Okay. And now in this case, calendar year starts with, generally we know it starts on January and ends on December 31st. Okay. Whereas here, for example, let's say it's starting from April to March. You see this calculation has 12 months and this also 12 months.
Right.
In this case, for closing of the account, 12 months is the calendar value, and to close the accounts it may take additional couple of months, right, for any of the organizations. So SAP provides 4 special periods. Within the, it is an extension to the regular periods. These are all special periods or months, okay? Generally we say that this is periods. So 4 special periods. Total of 16 periods is for a fiscal year. Either it's calendar or it's non-calendar. Total 16 periods. Now, why do we need to have a 4 special periods? Again, these 4 special periods, these are used for closing activities, posting any adjustment entries recommended by the auditors, okay, preparations of the statements, and submissions and all the stuff. Okay, so these 4 periods are used mostly for this purpose. It is not mandatory that after 16th period only the fiscal year is closed and the reports are submitted. It is not like that. Company may take up to 4 periods to finalize their accounts and submit it. It's a maximum. Okay. Now, these are the 2 regular years. There is one more additional, one more type here which SAP supports. That is called shortened fiscal year. Shortened fiscal year. Shortened fiscal year. So shortened fiscal year, this is with it will have a short end, like it is not having complete 12 months. Less than 12 months. Less than 12 months is a shortened fiscal year. Okay, maybe like January to June, okay, or else August to December. So in such, likewise, when there is a need that you need to break down your year and shorten it, that particular year is treated as shortened fiscal year. It will not have any special periods assigned. It may have, but it will not have usually. See, the purpose of the shortened fiscal years are if we talk about the snowfalling countries, the snowfalling countries, they will operate 8 months. The rest of the 4 months, due to heavy snowfalls, they don't operate. So this 8 months is less than 12 months a year. So it is shortened fiscal year, this case scenario. The second case scenario is there is an acquisition. Acquisition is that the company is ABC here. It has acquired XYZ in the month of September. Okay. Now there is a need that if you count this calendar year, September would be
9th month.
9th month. Yeah, 9th month. And if you count in this scale, the September would be 5th month. Right. So here in this case, what happens when there is an acquisition, there is a need that the fiscal year should be closed and bring back to the calendar year. So the continuing fiscal year will be shortened and it will be closed for the 5th period only. It is less than 12 months, right? So it is called as shortened fiscal year. So this is the purpose. Okay, this is one case. Another case is like, if you're talking about like this, ninth month, and vice versa, like, they want to maintain the calendar year. So this fiscal year is closed and this fiscal year, it is having 3 months, right? So 3 more months. So for the 3 more months, you create as a shortened fiscal year and assign it to this to show the balances. This is how generally, happens. So SAP supports total of 3 types of fiscal years: calendar year, non-calendar, and shortened fiscal year. And again, there is a dependencies of the current, fiscal years. Like the fiscal year may be calendar dependent or non-calendar dependent. Non-calendar means, like calendar dependent means it follows the standard structure of the calendar. Like it's every month has 31 days. Every month may be having 31 or 28 or 30 days. Okay, as per the standard calendar. Non-calendar means like you can prepare your own calendar, mentioning like, for example, as you said, like 12 months. Say here, first of all, we'll analyze. I'm just removing this. We'll try to analyze what is the month period here. Usually, there are month. Okay, 1 second. We're talking about the period. Period equal to, it can be week, month, quarter, okay, and then half yearly. So usually, period is referred as, these scales. And even there is, by week, by month, okay, by quarter, even that's also there. Usually this is how it is calculated. In the calendar part, we can say that, month is equal to period.
Right.
Okay. There are situations where a month is divided into 2, means every 15 days, it's a period.
Yes.
Every 15 days equal to a period, one period. In such cases, or else every 2 months is equal to 1 period. Okay, 2 months is equal to 1 period. So in such cases, this is not a standard calendar, right?
Right.
So non-standard calendar and non-standard calendars also are allowed for the fiscal years. Because
we are making a 2 months equal to one period because we can have only 16 periods. That is the reason?
No. In this case,
Bi-monthly, 15 days is equal to 1 period, right? Bi-monthly?
Yeah, 15 days is equal to 1 period bi-monthly. So in that case, how many periods you will be having? 24 periods.
24 periods. But we can't have 24 periods as per SAP standards, correct?
No, we can have it. No, that is what. There are 2 options.
Oh, okay.
One option is standard calendar, 12 months, 12 periods.
Plus 12 plus 4.
Plus 4, 16.
Okay.
This is standard. Non-standard is, you can create like this. Every 15 days you can create it, or every 10 days you can create it as a period. Okay.
So there is no limit of 16, maximum of 16 there.
When it is non-standard, there is no limit.
Got it. Yeah.
When it is standard, calendar standard, then it is limit.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. All these are because of, we do this, period splits. All this is because to have for the reporting pattern, okay, for the reporting purpose. Usually we are recording the transactions in the business. Why we are recording the transaction? To prepare the balance sheet. Why you are preparing the balance sheet? To attract the investors, or to show it to the public and the investors, right? So usually, this reporting patterns, for the reporting patterns, you will be dividing this. Now, there are specific requirements in the business, then only you are configuring like this.
Right. For example, usually salary is paid by monthly, that is for 15 days. In case if we have to prepare periods salary on the basis of salaries we are paying, then we have to prepare non-calendar. We have to create a non-calendar period, and then we have to assign each period equal to 15 days.
Yes, exactly. Based on the requirements. Yes.
Right.
So requirements varies in implementation. Okay, as you said, this is one requirement. Another requirement is like when you're doing operations with across the countries. To map the conditions initially, what you do, you break up this days into periods, and you try to mix it up for the reporting, for the preparation of the financial statements and balances. So it depends on the requirements exactly. For parallel ledgers, you can create 24 periods. When you're creating 24 periods, there is no need of special periods. Remember this.
Okay.
But for the standards, you need to have a special periods, because standards are meant for reporting, for final reports. These are used for internal purpose usually.
Got it. Okay.
Because usually you never see any of the financial reports which is published to the public in any country having a split of 24 usually.
So here the definition is standard calendar. Standard calendar means any fiscal year that has 12 months.
Yes. Any type of a fiscal year which has 12 periods.
Yes.
Okay. If period is equal to 1 month. Okay.
Yeah. Right. There only we'll have the 4 special periods.
Got
it.
Now, calendar. So this is a calculation we are seeing. Calendar year, we know it starts. It has January, and it is having 31 days. Okay. So this is general, February 28 or 29, depending on the fiscal year again. If it's a leap year, 29. If not, 28. So March, it goes on December 31st. This is a regular calendar. So this is accepted globally. You go China, if we are going for implementation in China or Japan or even any of the countries, this is a standard calendar which is followed throughout the globe. So since it's a standard one, there is no configuration required for this. It's a standard. Already it is inbuilt in the SAP. Okay. But when you're talking about the non-calendar, so non-calendar, this is again customized. Now, for example, in my case, non-calendar is April to March. Okay, this is the accounting year which I am defining. So it starts like this: January, again 31. So same type of calendar, but I have something to explain, so I'm just making it here again. 31 April, it is 30. 31. September, October, December. Okay. 31. So in this case, now our year starts on April. So April is first period. April is first period. Period wise.
Yep.
So this is second, third, goes on. This is 9. And say suppose if you are talking about a fiscal year called 2015. Okay. 2015 2015 April is the first period. Okay. And it goes on like this up to 9th period. Okay. 2015 only. January, what happens? It is 10th period.
Yeah.
And what is the year here?
2016.
2016. Now system will get confused here. Is the data for 2015 or 2016? Right? Fiscal year is 2015 or 2016. So in order to make an instruction to the system, what you do is we ask system to -1. This is the indication. We give a symbol that -1 here. Whatever the year it is not only 2015, 2016. The formula is we need to -1, right?
Right.
These 3 periods, 11,
Yeah.
12, we need to minus 1. So we are giving an instruction to system that whenever 10 reaches for such a model, you minus 1 for the year. So 2016 minus 1, obviously the data is for 2015. So this is a configuration which we are making up.
For display purpose, how it shows January, suppose if I'm looking at some kind of transaction on January 31st, 2016, that is the 10th period of this particular calendar, this particular fiscal year. The example just now you showed me is the January is the 10th period of fiscal year 2015.
Yes.
So the display purpose, how it will be displayed for the end user. On January 31st, if I want to see a transaction, the date will be displayed January 31st, 2016 or 2015?
16 only.
Okay. But while configuring, we will configure -1.
This is a instruction which we are instructing to the system that
Pass.
whenever there is such a case situation where the period starts on April 1 as April as 1, so obviously January will be in the new year, so you take the whenever there is a new year you minus 1, so the data will be stored in the table of 2015 only.
Okay, got it.
Okay. And again, how it happens is like, say the date will be, say for example 08/01/2016. Okay, this is the posting date or document date, both. Okay, document date and posting dates. Now the period will be here taken as 10 period. As usual, in the standard transaction gets posted, like say for example stationery debited to bank, for example, like this. So this entry gets posted here, and this balance is stationery balance, for example 1000 is there. So this balance, if you open the stationery ledger book, in that ledger book it will be shown in the 10th period that there is a balance of 1000. In the ledger book it shows that it is the 10th period. Okay.
Right.
We'll see this, everything we'll see.
Yeah.
So this is general understanding about this. Another point here which I want to say is like this is about the posting period. So far what we did is fiscal year. So far we've seen fiscal year. Now we're talking about posting periods. Now this is standard posting periods which are opening here. We can open any of the standard or non-standard posting periods. Standard posting periods are, as per we know, like there are 12 standard, regular plus 4 special. Total of 16 periods are there, right, for a fiscal year.
Yeah.
So what we say that for a particular fiscal year, we are opening the period from 1 to 12 of fiscal year 2015, and also we are opening 13 to 16 of fiscal year 2015. Okay, this is a general logical construction of the posting periods. Means every month in a fiscal year is opened. Every month is open for posting, but usually in the implementations what happens is you will not open every month. Today is January, so January is open 01 to 01 of 2015, and here instead of 13 and 16 you open it at 01 2015. So what happened here? The end user, he is only able to post the transactions whichever it is occurring in the period of January only.
Yes.
And the last day of January or a particular period after 12 midnight, the manager or the concern who is authorized, he will be closing this period and opening new period 02 02 02 02. Now 01 is not allowed for posting. 03 is also not allowed for posting. 02 is allowed for posting. Okay. So this is a security level for using the posting periods. If not, we can post previous month's data in the current month. We can post current month's data in the future month also. Right.
Here I have a question, Sekhar. Suppose you mentioned that until we open another period, we can keep posting the previous month transactions. For example, January 1st, the posting period is January 1st, 2015 to January 1st, 2015. So we can keep posting in this period until we open a next period. Suppose I open the February on February 5th, 2015, the second period. So until February 4th, I can keep posting in the January month posting period, correct?
Actually, the period is identified with the system date and the server date. In a server, there is a date, right? So it goes according to the server date. In server, when it reaches 31st January end, automatically it will turn to 1st February in the server.
Right. Yes.
In the screen, if you are not opening the second period on that February 1st, system will not allow end user to post any transactions. It says that period is locked.
It is just locked but not closed.
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, period is closed. You cannot post.
Oh.
That is a clear statement which comes. So end user will not be, sorry. The period will not be allowed and the end user cannot post it until this new period is opened.
Okay.
I'll demonstrate that.
Yeah, in real time scenarios, for January month, on February 2nd, we will post some transactions. On February 2nd, we will post January month's transactions.
Yeah, it is allowed. It is allowed. How it is allowed? Though we have closed the posting period, document date is separate, posting date is separate. Document date may be of the January, but posting date will be today's date.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because
the transaction should be, I want to see, for example, I paid salaries on February 4th for the month of January.
Yes.
I want to see January month salaries. The posting occurred on February 4th for the January month salaries, where I will see that in February month.
It is, requirement date, the occurrence date is January, salary date is January, the entry date or the posting date is February. So obviously it will come in the February only. Entry date or posting date is February. So February
if
month
I want to generate a report how much salaries I paid for the month of January, is it a zero or the amount that I posted on February, can I show it in the January month salaries?
So whenever the posting date is triggered as February, this balance, whatever it is shown in the ledger balance in the February only.
Right, that is true.
So when you want to see the January salaries which are posted in February, then February month only will be showing it. Instead, it will not be seen in the January period.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Then what is the advantage of keeping the periods open?
See, when you see open in the sense, like usually most of the companies, they pay on that last day of the month, right? In order to see that balances in the ledger book.
Right.
Okay. After this posting midnight 12, this the support consultant or the authorized person, he changes the period 1 to 2. Okay,
right.
He closes 1 and he opens 2. In order to in order to make a transparency of the accounting system, this is a security procedure. If there are some transactions which are needed to be posted in the previous month, there is some conditions like we want to post it in the previous month.
Yeah.
Or else, in other way, we'll say like this. There is a transaction which is posted here, stationary to outstanding expenses. Instead of 1,000, actually the amount should be posted as 2,000. So there is a rectification. We need to do that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
when you're doing it here, that entry will be posted in this date, right?
Right.
The balance is moved here, right? When you are adjusting it, the January month's balance will be moved to the February month.
Right.
Because you are cancelling that entry, you are hitting this entry here.
Right.
In this case, we have one more option. I mean, these are all additional, features which SAP has provided. Like you can post the rectification of entries or adjustment entries, mentioning that this entry is for the closed period.
Okay.
That facility is also given.
So now, usually in a real-time scenarios, depreciation, all these things will be calculated after December 31st.
It has a calculation procedure. Like you can specify how the depreciation, how the posting of the depreciation can be calculated, and how the rounding of the depreciation can be done in terms of values, means decimals and all. Okay.
How about income tax?
It is also there. You can, income tax, what happens, you will be, the system also calculates automatically the taxes, okay, and you can mention while calculating, while doing the configuration itself, you can mention how the amount can be pulled. Monthly you want to pull up the amounts, quarterly, so that according to that instructions, it issues it prepares the notices and all, forms and all.
Okay.
That option is also there. Okay. So this is about the posting periods. Posting periods are clearly understood. I mean, clearly used for opening and closing of the periods for making the accountability transparent. Because I remember still, when I was doing one of my projects, the head of the client, I mean, there is a steering committee from the client side also. The head, the one who is leading that, is from the excise department. He came and he asked me, like, is there any way where we can skip few transactions? Later course we want to update them. So usually excise department, what they do, they skip some in order to do some exemption, to file something and all. Okay. I said, yeah, possibility is there, but you will be definitely caught up. Because he
He
was
likes the,
yeah.
those kind of people like the legacy systems.
Yes. So he was asking, like, however, I'll show you one quickly, okay, before going to that. He was asking, like, however, when I'm trying to post the transaction, see, this is document date. The document date can be the past date. Even it can be the closed period date also. Here the posting date. Okay, posting date is the entry. I mean, usually the date when the invoice is getting entered. There is one more thing also. When you post the transaction, it will be called as one second. I'll try to show one.
Yeah.
So the idea can be built up quickly. Some transactions are there. So for example, let's take this invoice. So in this invoice, if you see what is this document date, it is on 30/11. The posting date is also 30/11. Okay, period is 11. And if you hit this display document header button, it also document date, posting date, and a period. It gives this information. Also, it gives the entry date.
Right. Okay.
Entry date is the one which is in the server. Okay, my server, it is hosted in different dates. Okay, it is in a different time zone. So maybe I think they had not time zone. It is in a different dates actually. I think they had reduced their dates. So this is the server date, which you cannot see in the regular invoice. So I told him, see, even you may do some alteration or tricky part, in the posting dates.
Yeah.
That will be hooked up by the entry date.
But here I have how come the document date is later than the server date? Usually it should be before the server.
Yeah. Before only, they maintain like that. See here, if I change my date like this, to
Yeah.
previous date, and if you
Yeah.
are accessing my system, obviously your date is current date. I mean, it will be as per your system, and my server may be having a different date here. It will be showing like that. Usually this is not correct, but these people are practicing like this.
Okay, I have a one question here.
Yes,
This is a
yes,
very
yes.
what if we change the server date for a particular date? Say today is
Usually,
what?
usually for the implementation, that is not allowed. That is not at all allowed. Not allowed. It is impossible.
No, person who wants to manipulate.
No, see, server reaching the server itself, it has a 7-layer security kind of a model. You cannot reach.
Right, that is true. I'm not talking about the end user. Even if the management wants to change the date.
It is not possible because management also does not know how to configure things, right? Only the consultants know where to do.
Yeah, okay. If they hire the basis guy and you know they
SAP
ask them
has
to.
SAP has one more feature. That feature called as um, what do you call that feature? I just forgot the name. One second, I'll tell that.
Or it
SAP
log or something.
something like a login of a policing. Okay.
Yeah, that is what I heard somewhere. Okay.
Yeah. SAP star is there. This is a one user. Okay, SAP star, and there is some password, default password, which most of the which 100% the basis guys at the time of installations itself, they disable this user. Okay. This is a
Okay.
default user called SAP star, where if you log into this SAP star and do the changes, it will not be traced by SAP.
Okay.
But this is
Got
disabled.
it.
This is disabled.
This is something like super user.
Yes, super user only. This is super user, but it is disabled. That particular, every time when there is a suspicious logins, SAP will look into that.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, every login has a tracing activity. I mean, like every activity is traced. So any user, whatever the level, whatever the the user authorization group he is in,
Yeah.
he
But
cannot.
even when I was leading some SAP project, I came across don't close the posting periods. We have some transactions to post for the previous month. That is what I used to hear in the past.
Yeah, usually what the configuration goes like. One second, I will be 52. What they do is they open up complete period. See, 1 to 12,
Yeah.
13 to 16. They had open up.
Yeah.
Okay, this indicates that every period is open.
Right.
But there are implementations where, or there are some instructions from the client where they wanted to close it, they wanted to open it a particular period. That model. Okay. Usually that is a safe model because end users cannot hit the transactions that easily. But
Right.
if the servers are across the across the countries, across the borders, today it is my date is like this is 31st and I am entering in a new day, Saturday, and yours is a Friday evening. So there is again a
Right.
conflict of the dates, right? How the server
Yeah.
is and the dates are. Such cases what they ask is in order not to create any confusion, because my day actually it will be overing little early, my month last date, and yours is little late, right? So obviously when the
Right.
transactions are hitting, if I am changing my server is in India and I'm changing the date here, you may not post the transaction.
Right.
So in such cases, they say that open the periods for posting activities.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So this is about the periods. We'll try to see the configuration here.
Yeah.
fiscal year and posting periods. So to see this transaction codes, option is additional information display key of the document. So maintain fiscal year variant or even shortened fiscal year. Okay.
Yeah.
Shortened fiscal year. So OB29 is the transaction code. No, it's taking much time today. Okay. Here, see, already, as I told you, SAP has provided the default settings, okay, like V3 and K4. Okay, V3 stands for non-calendar year, and K4 is meant as calendar year. K4 is calendar year. Fine.
Yeah.
So for K4, see, it's a calendar dependent. Calendar year dependent. Okay. For K4, there is no configuration required. See, it says that when you double click on the periods folder, periods cannot be maintained for calendar dependent fiscal year variants. Okay. If you open up the V3, that is, accounting year, for this, you have 12 periods and 4 special periods, and you click on this and double click on the periods. You see the formula is here. January month, the same thing which I told you, up to December. These are the days. These are the periods. It starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 9. It is moving to another year. So that's the reason we are asking system to -1, since it's a year shift. How much of year shift is there? Only 1. So -1.
Okay. And can we define, can we declare more than one year for a company code?
Application wise, logically it is possible, but practicality I don't know when we will be using that usually.
Okay.
But application
for
wise,
example, usually tax year is, for even in India, it is April to assessment year is, tax year is April to March. And calendar year is January to December, for example. For all the shareholders, and they want to declare, and as for the company norms, they want to see end of the December how much profit they made, and they want to declare a dividend. So some reason they will prepare a balance sheet and everything on December 31st every year. For whereas a tax purpose, we need to prepare April to March. Is there a way to define or allowed to define two calendar years for a company every year? One is for internal purpose, other is a taxation purpose.
You can do that.
Okay.
Parallel accounting, you can do that. That's a parallel accounting actually.
Okay.
So you are maintaining front end one account, you are maintaining parallelly another accounts, another set of fiscal years. That is possible. That is possible. But here year shift, what it indicates, year shift is for complete year. If you are minusing 1, it is understood that if the year is entering to 2016, you are minusing 1, the year is 2015. If you are giving 2 here, then what happens? The data will be, if you are entering 2016, it will be for 2014.
14, yeah.
So for 14, generally we don't use the postings, right? Usually 1 year shifting in this case is allowed, but year shifting of 2 years, then where is the purpose usually? Application wise, it is possible.
Right. Sometimes if they want to file a revised balance sheet of previous years, at that time, is it possible, can I make it a shift year -2?
You're not posting it, right? You want to revise it, already the data is there, right?
Yeah.
So what you can do?
Very true. Yeah, application wise, we don't need -2.
Application wise, logically not needed. But yes, there are some situations. Okay, there are some situations where we use -2 or -3 also.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're talking about -2, -3, even there is a possibility. Is there any possibility to add +1 or +2? Even that is also there, right?
Right. Yeah.
But these are all used only for internal assessments.
Got it. Yeah.
If you want to predict a future, okay, this is a different scenario altogether. But usually in implementation, we don't see that.
Yeah.
So in our case, what we do, I'll do K4. Okay, K4 is actually, even you can take V3 also, but K4 I'll do. For your practice, if you want, you can use V3. K4 is a plain calendar year. Okay, we can go according to the dates and all.
Okay.
Yeah. Even you see, there is another advantage. Like if you want to make these periods, I mean fiscal year. It's too slow these days. So K4 is here, and for K4, you have seen periods. Even you can see the period text also. I mean, you can define the periods text in a particular language. What is the period? What is the text ID? And what is the text information for this? You can customize it. Okay. Likewise, here this is called as a shortened fiscal year. You can create a, you can define it as a shortened fiscal year. New entry, shortened fiscal year. So what does it happens is when you're declaring the shortened fiscal year, as I told you, it is a year dependent clause here. Okay. So there are different types of fiscal years according to the base requirements of the client. We first analyze the requirement. We'll try to hear a lot of things from the client only. That is the only mantra. You cannot give a solution immediately. Even though I know the solution, I never say that I know the solution. I'll try to hear, listen what all the client wants to say and all. Then yeah,
Right.
that is how we can build the client. More hours.
Yeah. Very true.
So assign company to fiscal year variant. So company to fiscal year variant is, now we have mentioned, we identify that we are using the K4 as a fiscal year for our organization. Then we are assigning that K4. So we are bringing the company code to fiscal year variant. The relationship between company code and fiscal year variant, company codes are N, fiscal year variant is 1, N is to 1. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
fine. And the reverse is fiscal year is 1 is to 1.
Right.
So select position button, give your company code. Aviation
Or say
services, we
yeah.
now here fiscal year is K4. See what's happening here is I had hit enter. I mean, if you save the if after giving this information, if you save the data or hitting enter, what happens is if there are any company codes which are not assigned the fiscal years, system will
It
prompt
will
us.
have.
It is prompting us at the bottom. It is giving a information or a warning saying that no postings are possible without fiscal year variants, and it is highlighted here at us. So this is not our company code. So just we need to tap enter. Again, it is asking for Atul. Tap enter. Depending on the non-assigned company codes in this list in your screen, you may have those many times the messages popping out.
Okay.
So we need to tap enter and we need to save this. When I'm saving it also, it is repeating again. See, the data gets saved. Fine. Now, see again, we're talking about the posting periods. Posting periods, as we know, like these are used for posting purpose. And here we need to define it as a variant first. Variant, and then assigning the variants, and then open close posting periods. So defining a variant. Select new entities. Yes. uh, what is it, G, right? ASG,
Yeah.
posting period variant for, and save it. It's just a declaration or a, identification which we have created. Then we assign variant to company codes. All the time variants are assigned to company codes. Okay, in this case, posting period case. So assign variants to company code. Select position button, give your company code, and then variants here is G, and save it. Now we need to open and close posting periods. Usually what we can do is this, we can postpone it at the time of final configurations are done. You can test the scenarios. At that time you can open this. But since it's a training, we'll open it in a sequence. Okay. Open and close posting periods. Select position button. Sorry. Select new entries button here. And here we need to give the variant. ASG is the variant identification. And from period, okay, we're not touching these three. I'll come to this little later. From period 01 of fiscal year 2015 to period of 12 2015, and this is authorization group. There is no authorization group so far created, so nothing to give here. And 12, this is 13th period, special period, okay.
This authorization group is the group who closes and opens the periods?
Yes.
Okay.
So here from period 2 is 13 to 16 of 2015, okay. So we have opened these periods here, and these settings for which accounts it is allowed. So these are the accounts which are allowed here. So if I'm selecting plus, it indicates that all types of accounts are allowed. Account types. If you are indicating A, then only assets are allowed for this kind of a postings. Okay, this kind of a settings. Likewise, C means COPA, customers, special purpose ledger, vendors, materials, GLs, so on. So we are indicating this for plus. So it is valid for all kind of accounts. When we are validating it as all types of accounts, there is no need for giving the from and to accounts. This is from account number to account number. So means we can restrict this kind of postings to these particular accounts also. We can do that kind of a security or restriction levels. When I am indicating here plus, it indicates that it is allowed for all types of accounts, and saving it. Once we are posting the transactions, at that time I'll come here and do some necessary changes. We'll close the previous period, we'll open the current periods, and we'll work with that, so that there is a year change, you can see the impact. So sorry, if there is a period change, you can see the impact. Okay. For the demonstration purpose, what I'll do is to show the configurations, I'll do some changes to my existing posting period. Okay. You can quickly see here. See, it is open here 1 to 12 of 2014, and 15 to this one. So what I'm doing is I'm opening up one period only of 2015, and this is one. Okay, one. So I open up only one period here. Now let me post one trial transaction. See, if I am using this first period, see, this is the first period of the fiscal year. When I am using the first period and posting some account, system will allow me, and it will move into the next screen. Now, for example, we are using this as 01 02 20 15. Does the system allows us to go to the next screen?
No.
It will allow. See, it says that document is in future, but it is allowing
Okay.
us. But it is allowing
Okay.
us. Okay. The reason is it is taking the posting date into account.
Okay.
Document date is nothing but invoice date, or invoice date usually can be the past date or can be a future date in some cases.
Right.
Some cases. So it is a just information field. This is a screen field. So information field. Now 010 sorry 01022015. Here if I am changing this to 01022015, now system
Will not.
will not see posting period to 15 not open for this company code here.
Right.
So this is the message which end user will get after closing a period.
Right.
Okay. So this is the control for the postings. And since you had asked me one more thing, I'll give a clear picture here. FS10N. This is the ledger account, and if you open the ledger books, see period wise the balances are shown here. For example, if it's a salary account here, for the month of January, you have paid on the February date as a posting date. It will be shown in the February period only.
Yeah, that is absolutely in February month.
Yes.
Look, I mean, as for in the real scenarios, I mean, as for the books, because the posting date is February, it will be in the February month salary account.
Yeah. Yes.
But I was, because the reason I did ask that question is a lot of times in the past I encountered when it was a manual, it was okay, we can do it anything or however we want it, but this is when it is a computerized account. So I led many times I encountered, don't close the posting periods, we have some other transactions to post. That was I was keeping, because the system system has a date, server has a date, but how can I post in February month for January month postings? I mean, it will be shown in February month, but I was wondering whether it is possible to go back and post the January month transactions in January month while working in February. When I was when I'm in February month,
Gone. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, when I'm in February month, is it possible to post a January month transactions in January month?
So we'll see that here only. Okay, we'll see whether this is possible or not. So we'll do is we'll open the second period. Okay. So second period is open means first period is closed, obviously.
Yes.
Now in the same case.
But now I understood that it is not possible.
It is. There are ways, but
I mean,
But practically OLTP not possible. When OLTP is online, we are trying to post. No, this is not possible. However, this is not at all possible because there is a restriction here. Whatever the level is, because my user, let's say if someone says that it depends on the user. Let's say my user is actually super user. Okay. So I am the maximum, what do you call so my group login, sorry, here. See, I'm a super user here. So even super user is not allowed. Definitely it is not allowed. So what we can do for this case, we need to tell the client that the system is like this. Of course, we have solutions for that, right? We have the solution for this. And again, if required, then again, Of course, a few things will definitely have restrictions. We cannot go beyond the application restrictions.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So tomorrow in the next session we'll see there are some other areas like from here on the topic will be more interesting, and for you, I think it will be more interesting for you definitely. Okay.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
here there is a issue like from here on what happens, the load of the information will be more.
Yeah.
So say take some time, try to look at the screens and all.
Yeah. Sure. Definitely. Yeah. And tomorrow is the same time.
Yeah, it's a Sunday actually. I mean, it's a Saturday for you. If you
Yeah.
want, we can take the session. I don't have any problem.
Yeah. For me, absolutely fine.
Okay, we'll take the sessions whenever there is a break needed. We'll take these weekends as a break. I mean, this compensate these things.
Okay. Sure.
Sure. Hmm?
Then same time.
Same time, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Shekhar. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.